Hello, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week, 26th to the 1st. Thank you for always being the most consistently liked video of the week. I'm glad that as a fellow Aries, you guys resonate with what I have to say. It really makes my heart a little bit warmer. Don't tell everybody else. We start the week off with a new moon in Gemini. The videos are already up on the channel. I will do my best to remember to link it to this video. If not, go to the home screen of this channel and you'll find it there. All right, let's see. What do we got going on here, Aries? What do we got going on? What's the best advice for the week for Aries? Okay, well, that was pretty immediate. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So trying to approach the week in a less judgmental way. Now, I find it funny when people say that we shouldn't be judging at all, because that's kind of against human nature. I know that that sounds bad, but naturally, we have the inner judge archetype. It's just how we are, right? I'm not saying that we don't take accountability for it. I'm not saying that we should be nasty all the time. What I am saying is that it's a survival mechanism. That's why we have that judge archetype. The key is to use it in a more positively oriented way, right? To understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. I love that. Trying to be judgmental, but like in a way that is productive, in a way that is helpful, in a way that is positive, in a way that is supportive, right? Because let's use an example, right? Say that, and then first of all, this is also judgment towards the self, okay? Because it's not just judgment about everyone else. For some reason, I'm really picking up, okay, so let's go with that, because this feels more like judgment towards the self. Not judging other people, but judging yourself. Especially past versions of yourself. So let's say that you have this memory come up of a time when you were younger and a little bit more flirtatious or a little bit more sexual or a little bit more open to sleeping with people, right? And then you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I was disgusting. I was horrible. How could I have been such a slut? And then you become aware of it and you're like, wait, I shouldn't be talking about myself like that, right? That's the key, is to have that judge come up and say, let me look at it in a more understanding way. I was a different person back then. I had a different set of challenges. I was on a different path, right? I am not that person anymore. Let me send that person love. Because I'm getting like this whole not judging yourself too harshly. I'm feeling that very strongly for you, Aries. Not putting so much stress and pressure on yourself to be this perfect person or to be this version of yourself that you know you have to be. Because as you know, harder for anyone else, I think, in the zodiac signs, harder for anyone else, or than anyone else, I should say, is for you to put this, because you're an Aries, so you put the mission ahead of everything else. So if you are really, really focused on a mission, and that mission is to be a better person, you can judge yourself way too harshly. Okay? So that's my point. And we'll move on from that. What else for Aries, please? Surrender. Yeah. Okay. I can release my need to control. I love that it says it that way, right? I can release the need to control because, well, not even the need, but my need. I can release my need to control. It's not about I just release it. It's about knowing that you can. Not should or would, but that you can. Because sometimes we feel like we can't surrender. We feel like we can't lose control. I think we talked about this a little bit last week, didn't we, Aries, about the need to control. We're going to get more into that, but it looks like a cell to me. Now, it kind of looks like a cell in this image, this sacred geometry that's going on up here. So you might feel that in your body this week. I am a firm believer that when we're dealing with things, we can see that reflect on our physical body or on our mind. Absolutely on our mind. But you can have that manifest in a physical way. I can't tell you how many times I've had an issue with not being able to let go. And for you, Aries, you're going to get it. You're going to get it as a headache. You're going to get it as a sinus infection. You're going to get it as maybe some issues with itchy eyes or blurred vision. Now, of course, go seek medical professional medical advice if you're dealing with that, firstly. But if it's like there's nothing really going on, it's likely because it's something ethereal, affecting your physical. Does that make sense? Okay. Um, we'll get more into that. What it is exactly that you need to, you know what, let's look at that. What is a block for them when it comes to judgment? Look at that. Passion. The soul passion. That's interesting because this card specifically came up for the New Moon and Gemini reading. Aries, are you judging your path to your passion? Are you judging how you operate? Are you judging yourself on it? You have a passion. You have a soul-driven passion that you're being asked to stop and release the judgment on it. I think maybe the surrender is the judgment. Because I'm really, really focusing on the fact that it's a waterfall, right? First of all, release again, but releasing emotions through crying. I know you, Aries, all right? You don't cry in front of people. You're very reserved about it. You don't let people see your emotions. You do it behind closed doors when you're alone. Not many people have seen you cry. So, I don't know what it is about this, and I'm sure we're going to get more with the tarot, but this feels like you judging yourself for having some kind of emotion. Judging yourself for feeling vulnerable. Judging yourself for feeling upset or sad. Because normally as an Aries you would handle it in a more aggressive way, in a more assertive way, right? Not in such a soft way. Softness feels like a weakness to an Aries. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to feel. It's okay to process through crying, and it's okay to process through release. What is the challenge to surrender here for Aries? The wind. I thought that said wild. And I'm going to go with that. But it does say change in wind. But let me talk about wild for a minute. Because there is a wild side to you. That you're having a hard time just letting it be. Letting it be what it needs to be. There's almost like needing to be a wild, free spirit. And wind can be wild. Look at that. Look at that. Look at what the wind is doing. Moving everything up. Sorry, I'm shaking too much because I've had too much caffeine. I've had way too much caffeine today. But the change, so surrendering to change, because maybe there's maybe there's an aversion to that because you're having trouble seeing things that need to be changed, or maybe you're hesitant to accept something that's not the same as it always has been. Maybe tradition, routine, some kind of ritual that needs to change. But the winds of change are coming, and you're being asked to release, Aries. It's funny because I'm seeing that crow, so death and rebirth. She's creating that change. You see this? She's the power behind this. So there's that message for you, Aries. You are the power behind the change. So instead of looking at it, oh my goodness, as you don't have the power because things are changing, look at it as you do have the power. You can. Again, the word is can, because this week is the difference between can and can't. There's a very, very strong message there. You can create the power to change. Especially if it's you following some kind of passion, or you being less judgmental about yourself and being more aware that your path and your challenges, and I was going to say don't define you, but they do. And that's good. That's beautiful. That's okay. Your path and challenges do define you. But they don't have to be the sole definition of you. They just need to be the, well, no pun intended, but they can be the motivation. Aries. Okay. First of all, we start with 3 major arcanas. There you are, Queen of Wands. Okay. And I'll show you the cards. Well, let's start with that. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands. Courage, bravery, initiation, passion. Does that guy look like he has a care in the world? First of all, he's got this amazing puppers with him, right? He's in his boat. Calm, beautiful lake. It's beautiful weather outside. He looks happy as hell. The dog looks happy as hell. They're happy as hell together. Right? No care in the world. And I think that that's what the beautiful part about the Knight of Wands is. It's careless. Now, let me rephrase that. Carefree. Not careless, but carefree. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups have that energy of being carefree. He said, I have so much on my to-do list, but fuck it. It's a beautiful day out. I'm going to take my little boat. I'm going to take my beautiful dog, and I'm going to go on the lake. That's the wonderful nature about you, right? When you want to do something, you just go do it. This week, if you have a passion, and even if it's something simple, like taking your dog and your boat and going on the lake, then do that. Whatever your passion is, because the Knight of Wands has the courage and the bravery to step up and follow that passion. Do that. That's your guidance. Now, you have the World. It was the first card that came up, and the first of the 3 major arcanas that have come up. Authenticity. That's the World. The real side of you, your real thoughts, your real emotions, your real actions, your real body. For some reason, I'm feeling that. Being happy and comfortable and okay with your body and being in your body. And how you move, how you flow, how you operate, what cycles and rhythms you follow. Those are all very, very powerful, and they should be honored. And they should be respected and not judged in a negative way, right? Don't judge it. Because you have this sense of belonging this week, Aries. The sense of belonging that has been calling to you. So following that. The Hangman was next. It's interesting. There's a lot. Like these first 3 cards are about the body movement. So if you've been feeling like you should do something, like yoga, tai chi, qigong, dancing, exercising, those are always all. But by the way, those are very, very good for an Aries, to get the body moving. An Aries does not do well in an office job. Let me tell you that, or any job that requires a lot of sitting. Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up, especially with that judgment, right? It seems like your perspective is going to change this week. And I feel like it's the perspective on, and I know that the next one that came out was the Hermit, but I want to talk about the 7 of Wands because I think your perspective changes on this. How you go from point A to point B. You see that? She's creating that. She's creating that bridge. She couldn't get across that river. She's doing it now. You're very resourceful. You have a lot of useful things around you. You can create it. Again, back to that. Right? Where did I have it? The power. You have the power to change it. Because the Hermit's here, so you know yourself best. Nobody else does. Not your mama, not your friend, not your coworker, not your boss, not your cousin, not your lover. For sure, not your lover. You, Aries, you know yourself best. You know what you need, what you want, what you desire, how you operate, how you think, how you act. It's okay to go about the week and catch little, even if it's little moments. Again, going back to the Knight of Wands, right? He said, I'm gonna go do that. Look at what's underneath that, the 8 of Pentacles. I'm gonna go water my plants. I'm gonna go plant. I've never planted a thing in my life, but I feel like doing that this week. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna build a little bit of a what do you call it? A greenhouse. You know? What an Aries thing to do. I'm gonna go build something. Okay? So, you want it. You know it. You want it. You know it. There's something here about that. Stop waiting. I don't know what it is that you're waiting for. It's like you're waiting for the next what? What are you waiting for? No more judgment. Just release and do. Just release and go for that passion. You've been on the fence for a while, it seems like. Look at that world. You have the world literally right there, and then she can't reach that world, or she thinks she can't, but she can. I know that this is a bicycle, Right? I know that's her little bicycle. But at a quick glance, it almost looks like she's in a wheelchair, right? So it's almost like feeling physically unable to do that. But you know that you can. You know that you can. So stop feeling like you can't. Again, stop feeling like you can't and know that you can. You're here, the Queen of Wands. This is you. Doesn't matter if you're female or male. Okay, this is you. First of all, cows, or specifically the bull. Look up the bull spirit animal. For some reason, that's coming through strongly. Also, the energy of a Taurus. But you could have Taurus somewhere else in your chart. Or look, you know what? Look at where everyone has every sign in their chart. Even if it's an intercepted sign, it is still in your chart. So look at where Taurus is in your chart. Maybe that's where your passion lies. For some reason, that's a very specific message that's coming through. The confidence, the self-esteem, the bravery, and the willingness to act. I hope this helped. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one.